Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate the mission to remember the fallen, honor those that serve and their families, and to teach the next generation the value of freedom. At this time, I ask the veterans to stand attention as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. Present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we're going to do the national anthem. At this time, I'd like all of you to join me with a moment of silence to remember the fallen, the prisoners of war, and those missing in action, and honor those who have served and are serving this great nation's armed services. Thank you. And thank you all for joining us here today. This year, across the country at 4,218 participation locations like this one, there are millions of Americans gathering safely as one nation to remember, honor, and teach. We are all proud to be Americans that live in a free society made of many people from many walks of life. The freedoms we enjoy today have not come without a price. Lying here before us in cemeteries throughout this nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear. We can worship as we fit. We can raise our children to believe as we do. We are free to vote for the leaders of our choosing, and we have the right to succeed, and we have the right to fail at whatever endeavor we choose to pursue. The United States of America was founded on the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Our nation stands as a shining beacon of liberty and freedom to the world. We thank those who gave us their lives to keep us free, and we shall not forget you. We shall remember. Today, more than ever, we reflect on our nation's veterans and active duty service members who have and continue to fight to protect the innocent and oppressed. This nation has always been the first to stand up for freedom of people from around the world. Many of you here today have answered that call and served your country well. For this, we say thank you, and we are honored to know you. There are many men and women serving today in all branches of the military, here at home and in places far away, that most of us have never heard of. These men and women are part of the best trained, best equipped force in the world. We honor them and their families for their sacrifices they make each day to keep our country safe from terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Quoting our 40th United States President Ronald Reagan, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. For one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States, where men were free. Today we show a united front of gratitude and respect across the United States of America as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. Now I call George Federa, who will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Army. Now, Marie Falsetta will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Marine Corps. Now, Richard Willett will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Navy. Now, Southwick's American Legion Post 338 Commander Darcy Rock will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Air Force. Now, Doug Boglin will lay a veteran's wreath in honor of those serving in the United States Space Force. Accompanied by Diane Gale. And I'd like to thank the Select Board for all they do and the support that they give us in the Cemetery Commission. Now Bruce Mason will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Coast Guard. Julie's placing it in lieu of Bruce. Now, Carl Steinhardt will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Merchant Marines. Now, Carl Steinhardt will lay a veteran's wreath in honor of the 93,129 United States servicemen from all branches of the service whose last known status was either prisoners of war or missing in action. These individuals have never returned to their families and homes. One missing in action is United States Navy Electrician's Mate 3rd Class Elmer Charles Steinhardt, the grandfather of Carl Stein, who served both in the United States Merchant Marines and the United States Navy during World War II, who was also torpedoed in World War I as well as World War II. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Carl. And you notice that there's a nice prisoner of war missing in action flag, proudly flying underneath our nation's colors. At this time, we would also like to honor all the first responder members who have served our community. Now, Southwick Police Chief Robert Landis will lay a wreath in honor of the Southwick police officers. Now, Ralph Buddy Vecchio, retired badge number 1, will lay a wreath in honor of the Southwick firemen. We encourage every volunteer here today who places a wreath on a veteran's grave to say the veteran's name aloud and take a moment to thank them for their service to our country. It's a small act that goes a long way toward keeping the memory of our veterans alive. Remember, we are here not today to decorate graves. We are here to remember not their deaths, but their lives. Each wreath is a gift of appreciation from a grateful America. These balsam fir wreaths symbolize our honor to those who have served and are serving our armed forces of our great nation, and to the families who endure sacrifices every day on our behalf. To our children, we want you to understand that the freedoms you enjoy today have not been free, but have come with a cost that someday you may have to repay yourself. As a nation standing together, we can defeat terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Thanks to our veterans who have the freedom to do just that. At this moment, I invite Select Board members Diane Gale and Doug Moglen to come forward to say a few words if they choose to do so.
Good afternoon. 4,200 cemeteries across the country, Jim? 218. Thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming out today to honor our veterans and to honor those who gave their lives and served our country, and also to support the families of those who sacrificed so much while their loved ones were away or made the ultimate sacrifice. It heartens me to see young people come out with their families such that we don't forget. And as Gene said a couple of times here, but it rings so true, that freedom is not free. On behalf of myself, Diane Gale, and Jason Perone, I want to thank you for coming out. I'd also like to thank the veterans organizations that helped organize this, Lisa Anderson, and the entire Cemetery Commission and staff that keep this place looking so great in honor of everyone who resides here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out today. This was a wonderful presentation organized by the Cemetery Commission. Lisa Anderson was instrumental in it, as was Gene Thoreau. And as he said, the value of freedom has no price, and thank you all for our freedom.
I'd like to thank VFW Post 872, American Legion Post 338, American Legion Auxiliary Unit 338, the Vietnam Veterans Association Chapter 2119, the Lions Club, and any other group that may be here that made today's event possible. As you can see, all the wreaths are over here. And we encourage volunteers to take a couple wreaths, depending, there should be plenty. There's veterans' graves all throughout the cemetery. You can usually see them with the American flag that's proudly displayed at their grave site. To all Wreaths Across America volunteers, again, thank you for being here today. Each wreath you will be placing is handmade and unique. They are made of balsam fir grown in down east region of Maine, United States with pride. Some of the needles to become detached during the wreath making, packing, and transportation. Please keep in mind that each wreath has tens of thousands of needles and is normal for this to happen. Because the wreaths are packed tightly in boxes, they might lose their shape a little bit. Before placing a wreath on a headstone, take a minute to refluff the wreaths, greens, and rearrange the bow. When the wreath is finally laid at the headstone, make sure the bow is at the 1200 position. It's important to have that intimate moment with the hero you are honoring, but please remember to take a step back and look at the complete picture of what all of us have accomplished throughout the mission to remember, honor, and teach. Before we dismiss everyone to go place wreaths, I'd like a young lady to play taps back there. Now you're free to go place some wreaths and honor the veterans and those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. And we do have one unaccounted for missing in action here. That's Robert Lee Silvernail, who grew up across the street from the town hall, and he's up there on the hill.
Okay. I don't have my book with me, otherwise I'd tell you.